Tisdale just nipped
maybe
that
a
football.
touch. Yeah, maybe a touch.
2nd and 10. Comes the rush underneath. Childs the catch, and he gets away. Got away from Tisdale, and Childs finally wrestled out by Mike Edom. Well, John Childs pushing to get back in this lineup, and that'll be a tough decision in the Eastern Final. Scott Milanovich has got Dontrell Inman and John Childs.
Yeah, I'm putting this big guy in if it's up to me. I mean, this is a big body, over 200 pounds, and that's what he can do against man-to-man. I mean, Tisdale was all over him, had a blanket on his back, and he just fought all that off like it wasn't there. Came up with the catch, beat the tackle, picked up extra yards.
Argo's top rookie, John Childs, the former Texas Longhorn. Back in the hands of Norwood, and he has room. Norwood is tackled down around the 26-yard line.
And maybe Scott Milanovich can get both Inman and Childs
I was going to say
on the roster.
That's an option I like if it's possible.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got some options. I mean, Jason Barnes is in that mix. And don't forget, just arriving on the scene last week, who is not dressed tonight but sitting on the bench over there for the Argos, Robbie Bryant's in that mix as well.
Bryant with a couple of touchdown catches last week. 9 more for Norwood, so it's 2nd and a yard. Harris trying to push it. Oh, he took a shot from Marc-Olivier Bouillette. Not much of a surge, but Bouillette with a shot on Harris, and we'll see if Trevor Harris is okay.
One of the criteria for unnecessary roughness is if a player is being tackled. Players being tackled and you lead with your head coming in as the extra player or second player, you can be flagged for unnecessary roughness. That looked like the case for Marc-Olivier Brouillette. However, it was short yardage, so maybe it was lost in the shuffle there for the officials.
Yeah, they missed a flagrant one on Johnny Sears last week here, but that one is worth another look.
Well, it looked like he definitely led with his head and hit the head of Trevor Harris while he was being tackled in the pile.
Boulay late to get into that Alouette defense. It's going to be 3rd down, and Harris again, this time better surge, and in behind Tyler Holmes should have the 1st down.
And this time Trevor Harris, you notice the difference there? He ducked his chin, kept it tucked into his chest, and just drove forward until he had enough for the 1st down and then went down. Not kind of popping up to look around to see if he got it or where the 1st down yardage stick was. He just buried that chin.
So the Argos on the move. 1st down. Alouette 24-yard line. 6 minutes into the 3rd quarter. First receiver not there. Underneath, Andrew Robinson breaks a tackle. And the Western Ontario Mustang product down to the 11 as a 1st down. Robinson with a couple of touchdown catches this year.
Good series going here for Trevor Harris, who didn't like what he saw initially, bought some time, just shuffled with his eyes up, and he finds Alexander Robinson, who worked to get open once he saw his quarterback's initial read was taken away.
Chip Cox, another tackle. He was number 2 for much of last year, but when they got to that last game and Zach Calero shined against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Calero's got some momentum into this season. Harris going to make a name for himself here underneath, and that's incomplete, intended for Norwood.
Mike Edom, nice play. Just came up from the safety spot, and he's going to take first releaser out of the backfield. Number 21 lines up deep, just at the bottom of your screen here, and just before the snap, he will work his way up and then pick up the first releaser he finds. So he sneaks up to the line of scrimmage. Here comes Norwood out of the backfield, jumps him. Knockdown.
Boy, he's played like a vet since game 1, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I mean,
2nd and into the end zone. David Adams, touchdown! His first of the CFL. And Trevor Harris's first touchdown pass of the year.
Darvin Adams gonna enjoy this wide field. Hey, Trevor Harris had to catch this snap on shotgun a little bit outside and then get his eyes back to the target. He does that, flips his hips around, gets it out there, and puts it up over the top of the coverage by Byron Parker.
Ten-play drive engineered by Trevor Harris, capped by Darvin Adams.
Adams gonna love this wide field. 65 yards across. You got room to move up there.
Harris holds, and that one is blocked. That's still a live football if the Alouettes want to return it, or well, they're gonna rule it dead. So 10 plays, 76 yards in just over 5 minutes. And a touchdown catch for Darvin Adams.
Darvin Adams here with a double move on Byron Parker. Watch how he first of all freezes Parker's feet as he runs this fade route. He's going to freeze him with a double move there. Now he's got Parker stuck in sand. Now he takes off and runs, and at the top of the route, watch how Adams will widen it. Use the full 65 yards as he widens away from Byron Parker to run under this fade route. Perfectly thrown from Trevor Harris for the touchdown.
Sharp to Bo Bowling. Flag flies. Bowling finds a little room and cuts back. Good return up to the 43, likely coming back on a penalty as Adams savors his first Canadian Football League touchdown. How about Trevor Harris? 6 for 9.
Montreal number 36. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Another penalty against Daryl Townsend. Trevor Harris 6 for 9, 111 in this touchdown pass in a couple of quarters.
Yeah, I liked how he was able to get his eyes back to the target that he wanted to hit, because he threw Adams open, threw it to his outside shoulder so he can widen, use the entire 65 yards of width, get right outside, and just fade away from Byron Parker. It's nice of Trevor Harris getting his eyes back after that errant shotgun snap.
Troy Smith, one of 8 first-time Canadian Football League starters this year. Those 8 went 6 and 2. Trevor Harris has been around a couple of years, still waiting for his first start. Short gain on that opening handoff of this series. But they looked like last year they were 1A and 1B, and then Collaros got some momentum in training camp this year. Scott Milanovich told us that the turning point of the season was a comeback win in Montreal, engineered by Collaros. It was the first of those 4 road games in a row, and the comeback got them a win in Montreal, and they followed up with victories out west against Saskatchewan, Calgary, and Edmonton that really set up the season.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, the road warriors to go on the road and win in hostile territory. And this is S.J. Green's first catch of the night. Pulls that one up off the turf.
So S.J. Green with 13 there is 64 yards away from passing Fred Stamps to win the receiving title. Already his 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season, and he has had 6 touchdowns in October, 6 in the last 4 games. So it's been a strangely quiet night for him so far. Messam on the draw, and there's Jonathan Williams to make another tackle.
The 3 games these two teams have played prior to tonight, of course, Montreal winning one of them. S.J. Green was a big part of that win, boy. 183 yards receiving in that game. Been quiet tonight as Troy Smith has had that shaky start that he's bounced back from and has looked real good since.
Well, we mentioned Anthony Calvillo not played since week 7. Scott Flory played only 3 games. Jamel Richardson only in the lineup for 5 games this year for the Alouettes. Now the run again, and almost intercepted, looking for Duron Carter. And the football almost picked off by Jalil Carter.
Jalil Carter just realized how hard Troy Smith can throw the ball. What a heavy ball he throws, because there's S.J. Green on the inside and Duron Carter on the outside, and And he's just going to try and throw it in between coverage. Hold it right about there, guys. He's trying to throw it in the hole. Jalil Carter took the run at it, right through his hands.
Burke Dales to Trent Guy. And Guy met before he crossed the 30-yard line. Walter Spencer. Well, our lineup isn't going to be as strong going forward. I want to say so long to a good friend, Devin Mandeville, our production manager at the CFL on TSN. She's going Hollywood on us.
Yes, she is.
She's gone to E-Talk, and we wish her well. She's here watching the game as a fan tonight on the sidelines.
Also in charge of 9 different World Junior Championships in hockey.
Mitchell Gale in the lineup, and whoa, we just got a first glimpse of the arm strength we've heard about.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good gun.
Good throw outside. One little side note, and we wish Dev the best as she moves to E-Talk, but I want to thank her for our very first Grey Cup in Montreal. I'll just put it this way. There was a guitar after the game. There was a little bit of songs being sung and some security involved, and it all went away.
Thanks, Dev. That was a good post-game party, too. Flag down, and Gale in trouble, and he stays on his feet. Well, now, did a pretty good job to avoid the sack, get back to the line of scrimmage. Let's sort out the flags. So Mitchell Gale, the third Argo quarterback of the night, out of Abilene Christian.
And no, folks, the Ottawa Red Blacks did not have this mandated for the Canadian Football League, that every single quarterback
Offside.
on every roster.
Toronto number 86. Penalties decline. Third down.
Trent Guy was offside. It will be a punting situation and a 2-and-out to start Mitchell Gale's CFL career.
Just happened that way that Red Blacks have got a chance to look at a lot of young players, and for Mitchell Gale, he gets a chance here in this game tonight when the bullets are flying for real. See what he can do in a close game. How does he handle that kind of pressure?
Quinn Sharp's got a live leg, doesn't he? Last up to the 25 of Bo Bowling. Good return up around the 39-yard line with another flag down. That's a 52-yard punt by the newcomer Quinn Sharp. Expect that we will see Swayze Waters in the Eastern Final, but chance to assess.
Holding. Montreal number 98. While the ball is in the air, go back 10 yards from where it was caught. First down.
Adebayo gets the call. Troy Smith out of Ohio State, the Heisman Trophy winners, had a couple of touchdown passes in this game. Still at the controls when we come back. Well, we've seen 3 Montreal quarterbacks after the injury to Anthony Calvillo, out since the 7th game of the season. The stats say everything about his brilliant career, and it's great to hear that he's felt good enough to be in the meetings with the Alouette quarterbacks this week. And going forward, what a plus that could be for Troy Smith and company. Out of the backfield, that play read nicely, and Terrell Sutton is wrestled down very quickly, or Chuck that Messam.
And if it is the last time we see Anthony Calvillo, then wow, congratulations on such a great career. And I mean, beyond great. It was a real honor and pleasure to watch him play the game at such a high level for so long. Jim Pop, we brought him over from Hamilton, worked with Tracy Ham, and they just did nothing but win.
2nd and 10. Smith hit as he got rid of the football, and he got drilled. Pressure off the edge from Major Culbert. Major pressure.
I asked Jim Pop about that and about Troy Smith as we were discussing how he's evolving. And, you know, his initial plan was for Troy Smith to just come in and just watch this year. He really didn't think he would elevate him this quickly. But the way he's progressed and his athletic ability, and talking about the next one, and if that's a possibility, nothing is official, by the way, for Anthony Calvillo, but they got to find the next one.
Guy on the return looking for a block, and a nice cutback, and then gets bounced at the 52-yard line. Curtis LeBlanco. It's like he was shaken up.
Just think of all the milestones that we've watched. Anthony Calvillo became the all-time leading passer. And the thing that stood out more than anything for me is they stopped the game here and they ran in the in-house video replay. Just congratulations from a lot of different people in both leagues, in the National Football League and the Canadian Football League. I remember watching and listening. Dan Marino was one of them who said, hey, only quarterbacks know how hard it is to stand there with guys flying around you and people hitting you and throw for that many yards. So congratulations, AC, up in Canada. And just milestone after milestone we watched over the last 5 years is...
Heck, that was 7,000 yards ago.
Yeah, yeah, good point.
Just under 80,000 on the odometer. 329 games.
And hey, U.S. expansion didn't work. But U.S. expansion brought some players to the league, and Anthony Calvillo is one of them in Las Vegas. And this is how long ago it was. I played against AC.
He goes back that far?
He goes, yeah. Wow.
Ed Gainey shaken up and making his way to the sidelines. Well, we don't know if it's
we don't know.
Going to be it for Anthony Calvillo. But Jim Popp has to look for the next. And may have already found him. Although you don't find another Calvillo. You just find the next quarterback. Anthony Woodson, Chip Cox. Any surprise at all that Chip Cox is still playing in the second half of Week 18?
Yeah, and I asked Jim Popp about this, and he said if I do make a substitution, because of the limited roster, there's not many I'm going to make. The guys that are dressed have got to pretty much play, but he said if I do, the first guy he said, it wasn't an offensive receiver or anybody like that. It was Chip Cox. So if he starts making substitutions, he's going to look for number 11 to come to the bench.
Second 11 for Mitch Gill. His pass is broken up. Jeff Tisdale unloads on Trent Guy. There's Tisdale, has had a brilliant year. 7 interceptions. He's played all 18, and boy, he lives for these, doesn't he?
And you know what? I think it was Schultz before the game. He said, you know, these guys are competitors. They play, whether this means anything in the standings or not, they play to win their battles. They play to win the one-on-ones every single time. It doesn't matter if you're playing Tonk or gin rummy or in a football game. That shows you the competitive edge in a game that doesn't matter in the standings.
He had the trump card there, didn't he? Wow. Kicked into the corner. Scooped up by Bowling. And Bowling's not going anywhere. Jamie Robinson made sure of that. Well, with more on Chip Cox, let's head back to the sidelines. Matthew Schnetti.
Guys, you're just talking about Anthony Calvillo, and the perception really was for the longest time that he was irreplaceable on Montreal's roster. But I spoke to Jim Popp about it late last week, and he told me, listen, Chip Cox is as close to priceless as I have on my roster right now. Now, Popp is always a man with a plan, but he told me it might take 2 or 3 guys to replace the dedication and just the talent that Chip Cox has. And when I spoke to Kyrie Bear and Shea Emery about Cox, they called him simply a leader, a guy who embodies the ferocity on our roster. And even though he is the league leading tackler, his teammates still think he doesn't get enough respect. Guys.
Kyrie Bear done for the night. He was nicked up a little in the first half.
Cox, an 8-year veteran, best season he's had in the league.
Yeah, it's funny, as Matt was saying that, as we watched Chip Cox come off, that was on that punt return that he still plays on the teams. In fact, last few games he's had 6 special teams tackles, and he was upset and mad that his offense is now in a hole. Again, that competitive edge, that leadership quality that he brings to the table, whether it's on the teams or the starting defense, a guy that, as Matt said, Jim Popp would take 3 players to replace.
He's the other starting linebacker tonight. They swing it right to Bowling, and he'll get stacked up and pushed back as Alonzo Lawrence, Hervé Tonye were there. That's the final play of the third quarter. The touchdown pass to Darvin Adams as the Argos in the lead.